All right, Dad. Taste this guy. Tell me what you think.
Just up from a nap, Saturday nap. We're going for truffle number
Shabbat
one.
shalom.
Whoa, that's powdery. Tastes like a truffle. Very good.
What flavor?
Red.
What flavor do you think's in there?
It's like cocoa, cinnamon, cherry, maybe. I don't know.
No cinnamon, no cherry.
It's like dark. It's very dark.
How about balsamic? Did you taste that?
No. This one looks like that, like sushi you buy at the restaurant. There's like salmon that comes out.
Like fish eggs? That smoked paprika looks like fish eggs or
Oh,
something?
that's what it is. It's supposed to be spicy.
It's a Mexican chocolate truffle. You like that one? I got another
I think
kit.
I like that one better. It's like has a lot more zing to it. But they're both really good. I don't think my folks would like that one. That one's too spicy. I better
Do you think the balsamic one was a little firm?
I'm trying to round two.
Hey, so I want to make some truffles today, and I found on the Food Network a balsamic truffle, which sounds really fun. But it's dairy based, and I'm going to make a dairy free one. So I'm going to use some coconut cream, and I've altered their measurements a bit too. So I'm going to be a little bit heavier on the balsamic, just a bit. I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup of my 70% dark chocolate, and I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of this coconut cream. And you know, my microwave is in the garage because I never use a microwave ever at all, but I have gotten lazy about melting chocolate and using my microwave, so I'm just going to pop it in the microwave. So I did 25 seconds and gave it a stir, and then I did an additional 20 seconds, and that was plenty. So 45 seconds. And now I'm just going to add 2 teaspoons of balsamic. So I have the 2 teaspoons of balsamic mixed in there, and it tastes delicious. So I'm just going to let this come right to just room temperature where I can mold it with my hands and roll it in some cocoa. So I think this is a slight bit wet, so I might mitigate that in a minute here. But so this time I'm going to use, I think it was because maybe I was shy on 3/4 a cup, but you know, that might be closer to 2/3 of a cup that I'm using. And I'm just going to use 2 tablespoons of this, and I'm going to make a Mexican one. I'm going to use some cinnamon and some nutmeg and cayenne inside, and then I'm going to roll them. I don't have any chili powder, mild chili powder that's not already been put in a spice mix, so I'm going to use smoked paprika because it's got a beautiful color. It's not super spicy, and it's got this amazing flavor. So 2 tablespoons of coconut cream going in with this, maybe, you know, 2/3-ish cup of chocolate. Back to the microwave. So I'm going to just stand here and very carefully watch. I'm going to do 20 seconds and then a stir and then another 20 seconds. Okay, so that was the sweet spot in my microwave. 20 seconds, stir, 20 seconds, and I can already tell that the texture is going to be more rollable once this cools. So I think that's really it. 2/3 of chocolate to 2 tablespoons of a coconut cream. Now, something to note is this coconut cream has xanthan gum in it, so it is a little bit thicker. So if you were going to use like the coconut cream I'm used to, I think you'd be fine if you scooped just the thick part right off the top. But where it gets thinner, I think that you would run into having to alter the ratios a bit. So I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg in here. In addition to that, I'm going to do 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne. We'll start with that and see if it's spicy enough. And even though it tastes spicy, apparently it actually like knits together your digestive system and thins blood. So I mean, it's actually like super harmless for you know, how potent it may seem. I'm going to stir that up. So I've given that a taste, and I think 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne is very nice for the general public. If you wanted a real bite, you might be able to double that, but I think I'm just gonna keep it like that because I got kids sampling and I'm gonna be rolling it in a smoked paprika, so I think it'll have lots of flavor. I'm also gonna just add a pinch of salt. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt in there. I think Mexican chocolate tends to have a little bit of salt. I'm also gonna add just a tiny titch of my vanilla bean to this Mexican truffle. Okay, this tastes so delicious. I'm gonna toss this in the fridge just to let it be a little bit easier for me to roll. Okay, back to my balsamic batter here. I think also because I used balsamic vinegar, it's obviously a bit thinner. That's gonna be too thin to roll. Maybe if I put it in the fridge, I'd get away with it, but then I think I'd have to maintain them in the fridge instead of on a serving plate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to add some cocoa, just a little bit at a time. I have a tablespoon here. Let's try half a tablespoon. I'll stir that up and see how that looks. Okay, so it's not thick enough with that. I'm gonna do the other, so that's a full tablespoon of cocoa I've added now. Okay, we're getting there. You can see this consistency is getting pretty good. I'm gonna do another half a tablespoon. Okay, so I think we're there with 1.5 tablespoons, or you could just do a heaping tablespoon. So if this was about 2/3 of a cup to 3/4 cup of chocolate, I used 3 tablespoons of the coconut cream, and then I used a heaping tablespoon of the cocoa powder with the 2 teaspoons of balsamic, and it is looking just great. So I'm gonna pop that in the fridge with my Mexican truffle batter. Okay, I'm gonna try a white chocolate truffle, and I'm going to use cocoa butter, and cocoa butter is actually quite firm compared to even the just dark chocolate I had over there. So I'm going to shave this really fine just with the end of my knife a little bit so that it melts nicely, and we'll go from there. Oh my goodness, I just think this stuff is so beautiful. I'm going to throw this in my scale to see how much that made. So I took some out just because I'm going to use it for maybe making some suppositories actually, but I've got 85 grams here, so let's see what I do with it. Okay, so I'm going to add in the 2 tablespoons again of my coconut cream and do my 20 seconds and 20 seconds in the microwave. Okay, so I actually ended up doing 20 seconds 3 times to get this melted, and it's so liquidy. And I almost feel like I can see, the separation of the cocoa cream and the cocoa butter. But because I know that cocoa butter does firm up so much, I'm actually just gonna not worry about it until I see how it responds in the fridge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make them how I would, and then we'll just keep an eye on them in the fridge. So I had a few different ideas. I thought I could make cardamom, because it's a really lovely flavor. I could do the bourbon vanilla. I could do almond coconut. But I decided I'm gonna do peppermint candy because I think my kids will like that. So I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. So I actually ended up doing a half a teaspoon of peppermint. I think it is actually a bit strong. I felt like a 1/4 teaspoon was too weak until I did a half. And now I'm thinking maybe I should have stopped at 1/4, but either way, I think it'll be good. So I'm not sure if this is an epic fail, but I'm gonna throw it in the fridge and we can watch. Okay, so here I am with my Mexican truffles, and oh wow, they look amazing. So I'm making little tiny taster size because we got a lot of mouths around here. So, and they're pretty rich. So here they are, my Mexican, and I think they look amazing. They're a little bit sticky, so I think they do warrant a little piece of parchment. They're not super sticky, you wouldn't have to do that, but, and if you did it a little bit nicer than I did, it sure could look cute. So this is what happens if you leave it in the fridge too long. This is the balsamic. So I'm just gonna leave this to come back to room temperature so I can mold them. You guys, so funny. I totally forgot. I had white chocolate chips. Yeah, I have, probably because these were organic white chocolate chips I ordered from online, and I actually didn't love them. But I did notice if you melted them and did stuff with them, they were okay. So what I'm going to try to do is recover my peppermint candy truffles. So I'm going to do the same, I think it was just the 85 grams was maybe just over half a cup. So I'm going to kind of try to replicate that. So it'll be half and half cocoa butter, half this. And I'm going to just add to this, I think only 1 heaping tablespoon of the coconut cream. And I'll go give that a quick nuke, as much as I don't promote microwaves. Okay, so even though that was only half a cup, I noticed it took 20 seconds, and 10 seconds. So, and I had to work at it more. White chocolate just doesn't quite melt the same. So because I had put in the 2/4 teaspoons, equaling a half a teaspoon of the peppermint, and I thought it was, or was it 2/8 and made a quarter? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch what I did, but I remember it was double strength. So I'm going to not add peppermint because I thought it was a bit strong, and I'll add my white chocolate mix before into this, and we'll meet you back. Yeah, wow, this is like, definitely more difficult to work with, but it seems like how could I possibly roll this? I'm gonna let this come to room temperature before I fridge it, and we'll see what it's looking like. Okay, so clearly this is a very experimental day for me, and these are the balsamic ones. I just rolled them. I found them to be a little bit firm, like they still totally taste creamy delicious, but they're pretty firm. So I think that a heaping tablespoon of cocoa may not have been necessary, or maybe like 2 teaspoons would have cut it, which would have been about half. But the beauty of this is I think I can just toss them in this little Ziploc with some cocoa, and they won't mush apart or anything. So I think once I have a whole bunch of ideas running through my mind, like turmeric and sesame and crispy rice and so many, man, you could just make so many kinds of truffles. So I think I'm gonna really explore some truffle recipes and try to come up with my own recipes, and maybe make a final video on each one once I've perfected the recipe in my opinion. And yeah, so I'm gonna toss those in here. Okay, they're looking so delicious. Okay, so here I am with the white truffle mix, and now it's separated, so I was afraid if I put this in the fridge, it's just gonna chill separated. I did look, and I found a white chocolate truffle recipe with cocoa butter, but they used powdered sugar, and that's probably what made it bind better, but I don't want to use sugar. I mean, I think the white chocolate might have had some organic sugar in it. I can't remember the recipe on that, so it's not like I really got away from it, but I think for me to be really happy with this, I'm just gonna have to experiment. But what I'm gonna do is I am gonna pop it in the fridge, and then I'm just gonna stir it like every 10 minutes or something. I'll let you know what I find out. So this is my stir at my second 10 minutes, and actually I think that this is actually maybe gonna work. So I'm gonna carry on with this, just mashing it all together every 10 minutes. So this is me still just stirring it that same time. So I've only put it in the fridge for 10 minutes, and I'm getting a really actually pretty good texture out of this for a truffle. So it does work. It does work. I'm just gonna have to really perfect these qualities, but I might even be able to actually roll this at this consistency. What truffle did you just eat, sir? What truffle was that? Was it the red one or the brown one?
The brown one.
What flavor do you think that is?
Chocolate.
But what do you think's in it? Oh, now you're trying the red one?
They're both chocolate.
Yeah, but what do you think's the flavor of the truffle?
It's not a truffle.
That's a truffle.
It's a peanut butter roll.
Do you taste peanut butter?
It just tastes like dark chocolate.
You can't taste anything in it?
Cocoa powder.
That's what chocolate's made of, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can taste.
Okay, so the red one is, whoa, it's called Mexican. You want one more? Does it taste spicy? Yeah, spicy. What do you think those spices are?
Jalapeno peppers.
There's cayenne in it, cinnamon, nutmeg, and it's rolled in smoked paprika. What do you think of that?
Better than the brown one.
A little bit of vanilla. You like that one better? What do you like better about it?
It's not as hard. It's more mushy.
Okay, the mushiness. Yeah, so this one I added cocoa, made it too hard, so I need to make it a bit softer. What do you think's the flavor in that one though?
Chocolate.
You taste something?
Dates.
No, no dates. Does it taste sour at all? Can you taste balsamic vinegar?
No. It's like chocolate.
That is balsamic. So a little bit too firm. So I'm gonna take some cocoa out. Thanks, Mr. Chocolate Stealer.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, my first peppermint candy truffle. Very crunchy.
Very sweet.
What do you think of that? I just used
It's like
half
birthday
white
cake.
chocolate and half with it tastes like birthday cake. You like it?
Yeah.
Can you taste the peppermint?
Yep.
Did you like it as much as the other truffles?
No, I like the red one the best.
Do you like that one better than the balsamic?
No.
Is it a competitive?
No.
So it's not even in the running. The peppermint candy, it's not in the running.
No.
Do you think it would be if you were 3 years old?
Yeah.
What do you think of that crunchy peppermint candy one?
That's the best one.
Is it?
Yep.
All right, Stevie, go ahead and try your third one. Peppermint candy.
That crunchy.
Kind of like chewing a candy. Do you like the crunchy part of it? How much do you like that one?
Triple much.
Triple much? Is that your favorite of the three?
Yeah.
It is. These are the sprinkles I'm using. Let's do organic confetti sprinkles. No food coloring. Yum, yum, yum.